Hey yo YouTube, I'm here to talk about my D&D game, The Band of Titans. Um, we start this session off for the first, for like the first half. My laptop is just not connecting to the internet very well, particularly uh, Discord. And like for the first however long, I'm trying to get it to work. Eventually, I just go to my phone, and then after a while, it does start working. But I I kind of miss a few things at the beginning, like uh, like I end up coming in, and the DM says that like, is there anything you do for the next few days? And I'm like, hold on, we're not starting where we left off. Like we're Johan just got done talking to Hovid, and he kind of says that we're rolling it back a few days. Because I missed what he was saying originally, I didn't really catch why. Um, and then he starts talking to Craven's player about stuff and a mixture because and at this time I'm still going back and forth on messing with my laptop, mostly because it doesn't have to do with me. And between that and not knowing what Craven's getting into most of the time, like I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And I guess at one point we're all in the mess hall, or most of us are in the mess hall, and I think it's Maravik who starts talking or starts telling us this stuff. She starts talking about the Shire and talking about how like when their year's done, they're probably gonna stay because they they heard that they're very political, and from what they've seen, it seems to be true. Like they appear to be talking to anybody who's in a point of power, a state of power, to have relations with them. But we get told in their world that like every 1,000 to 10,000 years, there's a cycle that happens, and apparently the Lord of the Night shows up. They have to fight him, and depending on if they win or lose, is how the rest of the cycle will go. Um, Supposedly they ended up just fighting him like 80 years ago, and I want to say like there used to be thousands of them, but after this after this cycle, there's like only like 80 something like that as of this moment. So apparently they're heavily recruiting. That's one of the reasons they're trying to interview as many young females as they can. They're specifically looking for females that aren't trained in magic yet. Not that they have a problem with recruiting someone who is. And also, we get told that in their world, magical items are incredibly rare. Uh, and I guess on the enemy side, that's not the case. Like they have some kind of machine that just pumps them out. But once when they find out how many how common magical items are in our world, like they're really gonna try to like dig their roots in. And the way I do my notes is through my phone, through a voice note. And since I'm using the earpieces on my phone, or usually I only use it on my laptop, the sound's terrible. So like, there's one thing right that I just listened to. I have no idea what I said. Um, but we skip back to where we left off. I tell the DM because like whenever I said we're not leaving off there, I mentioned how I wanted Johan to play some of the games with Maravik, and he's like, "What did you mean about that? Like, what did you say?" And uh, because Johan taught some of his apprentices, and Maravik said she's making a team of the game that the Aztecs played. That's like basketball. So he says he wants to do that. Not important, but just put it on the record, and something Johan wanted to do before he left. He also said he goes to the forge, stuff like that. Like I guess the next day, whatever Aradina sees Hyde, she tells him that there's the three hags, and when he can, to tell Smite that she wants him to do the speak to dead spell on him. Uh, and since Hyde or Smite is a hobgoblin, pretty much I've made it where he sleeps in the day, which I don't know if that's accurate actually. I believe hobgoblins are day dwellers. And eventually that time rolls around. Uh, for the most part, I kind of take over the asking questions. Like Craven's player ask a few, but not many. Most of it is really just us going over stuff that the Brotherhood of the Lion knew that we didn't yet. Um, like I believe, and also a lot of it I didn't even take notes on for the most part, and some of it I can't understand good. Um, but I ask, what do they know about Baba Yaga, and like they say that she's a deity of that realm. I want to say it's called the thrice the thrice 10th kingdom. Like I know I asked what ritual were they doing. They tell us that pretty much they were doing a ritual to keep the vortex or the gate open, something like that. I know later on we ask like, are there replacements to continue the ritual? I believe that's a craving question. Uh, and they say yes once when the whatever the hag group is called figures it out, they'll send somebody. I know I ask Aradina to like slightly describe what this hag they're looking for is. Um, Again, it's just something about the multiverse, and the hag says something like when I somewhat describe the answer she gives me, she says the a prophecy, find the witch, save the multiverse. Very heroes like in my opinion. I ask about the three other witches that were guarding the vortex. She pretty much tells us that they're enemies of the winter hags or winter witches, and they're from the group the Great Kabbalah. I know we ask like when are the witches most vulnerable? They say whenever Baba Yaga returns from her dancing hut. Um, I know we ask uh, what are we gonna see? Like what forces are we gonna see? At first, they tell us that bef- before we go through the vortex, the main creatures we'll see are there's a lot of Erdafon and there's a lot of the werewolf things that the Brotherhood of the Lion fought a few times that aren't really werewolves. They stay in it uh, that form 24/7. The Band of Titans fought them too before we switched to Brotherhood of the Lion. And then we also like ask what's on the other side of the vortex, and they say pretty much all the ice creatures. They say ice trolls, wargs, winter wolves. I think even frost giants. And Smite having his own motives, he starts asking about the wargs and the Arctic wolves. Um, they say that they're like winter wargs or something like that, and they've made a deal with the hags. I ask if the Arctic wolves have boots of winterland. I believe that's what they're called. That's what changes hide into human. Um, they say that the Arctic wolves of this area are incapable of turning into humans. And we're able to ask because we have three of them. We're able to ask 9 questions to each. We only end up going through two of them, uh, pretty much because we run out of questions. And that's pretty much the important stuff that I told you. Like there was other things, but like I said, if it was already stuff that as players we already knew. Um, I don't remember who tells us. I want to say it's one of the Brotherhoods of Knowledge. They tell us that they'll teleport us somewhere near it, and we kind of got it because we can't go through the door. Even if we got permission to go through the doors. We don't really know how to navigate it like the Brotherhood of the Lion does. They don't say that, but that's more or less what they get down to. Uh, or at least they don't say the Brotherhood of the Lion. Um, so like they say they're gonna teleport us, and I also tell them, remember Basker's with us. Uh, so they're like, yeah, so get to a certain point, and Basker would sniff out the smell and get you on the right track. I know, like Craven ends up talking to Aradina, asking like, what exactly is the plan? Are we taking prisoners? And Aradina's like that's your problem, Craven. Like I keep telling you, we're not hunting a hag or searching for a hag, or we're searching for. Actually, yeah, I think it's a hag. Um, and then like I guess we just rest the rest of the night, and then the next morning we go through a teleporter and end up in the area that they are. Again, it sounds like Czechoslovakia, or I might have said this, I'm not sure to be honest with you, or it has a name that kind of sounds like Czechoslovakia, but I can't remember what it is. And DM has us set up our marching order. He puts up a map uh, where we're in snowlands, and let's old school DSP this and take a look. So we start off in this area. Like the whole party's here originally, initially. Um, I want to say Basker's actually a little more farther out. Uh, the DM tells us that Basker looks like we're on the right trail and he is smelling stuff. Uh, I want to say from off the bat, the DM tells us that he smells Erdefont. And Basker pushed forward a little more, and we start seeing Erdefont. And here's a closer look at him. Uh, uh, I've mentioned or I've described them before, but they look like they're undead. They wear like studded leather wraps, and their sword looks just like it does in the picture. And the DM tells us to roll initiative. Um, I know that's Hyde and our Hellfire and Smite right here, even though it's not showing the picture. Um, Basker's wrong because I accidentally just rolled initiative again. Uh, but I don't. He might be at the right placing, even though that's a 9. Actually, looking at it because the numbers, you know, 9 comes after 11. So, but I know Hellfire and Smite come and attack this one. Smite ends up coming off of the because he's mounted on Hellfire. He dismounts and casts Mightious Right, which turns him into large. Uh, Basker ends up attacking one of these. Most like because of this kind of tunnel thing, like most of the party is behind me for the most part. I want to say Craven runs up and starts attacking this one too, or the other one. I'm not exactly sure. Uh, Seville's like doing her spells and stuff. And of course, Naomi and Aradina are doing missile weapons. Eventually, we end up clearing the mob that's in this area. Uh, I know Hellfire goes up here. Um, I want to say eventually Smite starts engaging with these ones. Uh, and Basker's like way ahead. Um, uh, it's been a while since we've been into a big fight with the Bandit Titans, but them being higher level, like I forget how hard the enemy. Like every round, we're getting hit from about 30 to 60 hits each each turn. Um, and we start getting hit by fireballs around this area. Uh, Hellfire turns into her human form, and she ends up summoning a monstrous spider colossus, and she sends it into the direction of where the fireballs are coming. And that's when we start really seeing the full map. and there ends up being this female version of them, and she's the one casting spells. Like for the most part, she hits us with fireballs. Uh, Most of the party does what you expect them to do. They're just running through, hitting hard, and we're getting hit hard back. Eventually, Hellfire does make her way like down here, which ends up getting her hit by a fireball. And since she's vulnerable to fire, she takes like I want to say it was like 60 something, where like everyone else was 40 at on that attack. She ends up doing like a frost belt that covers up about this much. The allies aren't in the picture when she does it. Like Craven and Aradina isn't aren't right there. Um, and I know the colossal spider is in like this area, and it's since it's colossal, its reach is so long. It's like hitting the. At first, I want to say the female's like right there, and he's up here, or it's up here, and then eventually it moves and it moves with her. And like every round, I'm just having it bite her. I don't think she ever fails her poison saving throw though. Um, we end up picking off each of them, of course. I if she wasn't the last kill, she was the second. No, actually, I think she was the last kill. Um, if I was to guess, it was Naomi or Seville who got it. One of these two who got the last hit. I know at one point I end up maximizing and empowering magic missiles on her because like magic missiles is a one level spell that I'm actually able to do both of them on. Because I end up realizing that as strong of sorcerer Hellfire is in her human form, she doesn't really have single target attacks. Like almost everything is crowd control. And then after we drop her, like the DM asks, "What do we do?" And I say, "Hellfire immediately turns back into her wolf form." As you could see, like I know Seville goes like, "Who is?" Because most of the party, all of the party doesn't know that she could turn human. So like Seville's like, "Who is that?" And before she could answer, like anyone answers, she turns back into her warg form or Arctic wolf. And that's where the DM ends up wrapping it up. Um, Not much to really say about this session, to be honest with you, if you couldn't tell. Um, Even though I enjoyed the fight, same thing with that. Just they hit hard, and we traveled through the map and killed the sorcerer or the spellcaster. I'm interested to hear how this video is going to sound because I finally put a voice dampener on it. Because a lot of times you hear me smacking, and also like this chair is wooden, so a lot of times when I move, it sounds like I'm ripping ass. Uh, Really, I did because I was watching uh, duty streams, and he was getting on LTG because you could always hear him pausing like I do. Um, so we'll see. Maybe I sound better. Maybe I didn't figure it out at all. Um, but future predictions. We're gonna go through the vortex. What's gonna happen after we get through the vortex? I don't know. Like, are we gonna find allies? Are we gonna fight some hags? Probably gonna fight some hags, knowing Craven. Uh, but you wanna see? Watch my next video and check you later.